Alright, what's up, guys? I'm Jose, and I'm back with my Avengers EndGame Spoiler review. Holy crap, have I been wanting to talk with somebody about this, so what better way than talk about with my hypothetical viewers. I really hope you guys have seen the movie, if anybody's checking this video out, and if you have, then you know what we're about to talk about, and maybe you guys can write in the comment section what you guys think, and for those of you who have not seen the movie, well then, pretty much spoilers ahead. So you have been warned. I'm about to start talking about what I thought were my favorite parts, my least favorite parts, the holy shit moments, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna start off. The beginning was devastating. Okay, so for those of you who have seen it, you know the beginning. It starts off with Hawkeye and his family, and oh my god, I thought it was gonna be way more brutal than it was, and I think that the directors, the Russo brothers, left us off pretty easily with that scene. I think that scene could have been really harsh and like made us cry more than it probably did to some people. It didn't make me cry, but just thinking about it, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking terrible. So he turns around, his daughter's gone. Then he turns around, his whole family's gone. I thought they were gonna do something more along the lines of Tony and Spider-Man from Infinity War. I thought he was gonna hold like his youngest son in his arms as he died, or his eldest daughter in his arms as she like faded away and dusted off. And I was like, because that's what I was waiting for. So when I saw that happen, I was like, oh my god, oh no, this is just gonna make me cry like right now, right?
I'm out of here.
So that's what I was expecting, at least from my, I guess, my hopes or my vision of the scene. That's what I was expecting, and I thought this is gonna be brutal. But I think they left us they left us off pretty easily, off the hook. Oh, oh, damn it! Oh, I can't get in there. I cannot. So that scene was pretty brutal, right? And then we see what he becomes. With I mean, think anybody who loses their entire family. Um, I thought, how he becomes Ronin and stuff. That's later down the line. I did like how right away they're like, let's go get this son of a bitch, right? Captain America's like, let's go get him, and they do, and Thor slashes his head off, right? And I was like, damn. This is awesome already. I'm like, how are they gonna top this? And oof, they do top it. I mean, they really do. They really top that beginning scene, because holy shit, Thor gets his revenge, but what's gonna but what are they gonna do? They oof. What are they gonna do? Like you can't fix anything. So at that point in time, the despair and because they're like, we got him, that's it. Like, and then immediately find out that the stones are gone, and they cannot bring their friends, their loved ones back. The acting, just in that scene alone, won me over than anything else, because you see the dread, the despair, the like in their eyes, the panic in their eyes. They're like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? As it sets in that there is nothing to do. You can't do anything, right? That's and it was brutal, and I love that scene. I think that was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. Then Tony's like in space, and he looks all bony and whatnot, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was like, that's cool. I like how they show that he's starving and losing weight and whatnot, and that's great. I did find it odd that out of all the places Captain Marvel's flying through space through, she finds Tony. But the way I took it was, she went to Earth first, and that's from that scene from the trailer and the post-credit scenes of Captain Marvel, when the pager stops beeping and she's right there. She's like, where's Fury? And she went out and got Tony. Maybe she went to go look for any survivors from Titan. That's the way I took it, and I may be wrong. And then she just finds and brings him back. And that's why randomly it wouldn't be the whole random of chance that she was just flying by on her way there, right? And I like that. I thought that was cool because it would just mean they cut it out, right? Maybe they thought it was unnecessary, so they cut it out of the movie. Just that end credit scene from Captain Marvel and from the trailers. That's fine. No worries. That was just one of my nitpicky things at the beginning, and then I was like, wait, but maybe, and that's how I interpreted it. Another thing. So then, what do we lead into from that? Let me remember.
Healed up.
I'm trying to get this Reaper. I don't know where it went.
Torbjorn, ready to work.
I don't know. Oh. So. Oof, I found it. So then it does a time jump 5 years later, right? And Tony's a dad, and everybody's moved on. You hear hints of what Hawkeye's been doing with the cartel. I thought that was pretty cool. I love Black Widow's character. She's like a badass, but she has a heart and everything. I love Scarlett Johansson's character. So seeing her all, like breaking down after she has a meeting with War Machine and Okoye and who else? Captain Marvel, who got a haircut closer to the comic. It was cool. No biggie. It was cool. I liked it. Damn, I keep saying I've only seen this movie once. Sorry. And then Scott Lang comes back. MVP is the Rat because out of all that things that could have happened, the Rat saved everybody basically by bringing Scott back. So sure. And I like how you're like, fuck, his family is gone too, right? Like, you're just like, oh my goodness, his family is gone. But he is the one that's gone, that everybody presumes dead. It says Scott Lang on the pillar things. What did I do? Fucked up. I thought I was using my W, my 1. I couldn't fix it. Anyways, and she's already a teenager, and that's crazy because it's sad because he missed out on all of that. He missed out on 5 years, but at least he knows that she hasn't been dusted. So I like the time heist part of the movie. I thought that was great. I enjoy one heist movie and 2 time travel movies. I think those are my favorite. I liked how right away they were like, no, it doesn't work like in Back to the Future. It doesn't work like in all these movies, and you're just like, oh man. But I guess that's their own rules of time travel, because time travel is still theoretical. So they established their own rules, which they kind of break a lot, and I'll get that into at the end of some of the stuff I didn't like. How are we doing is that ours? Or is this? It's theirs. So I didn't like that whatsoever because they break their own rules later down the line, but whatever. And I like the time heist. I like them going back to the original Avengers, right? I liked Hulk. Hulk was one of my favorite characters. Didn't get to see a lot of Hulk smash like in the original Avengers, and that kind of sucked. And I've been wanting to see that since the original Avengers. I mean, he saw Age of Ultron, sure, but he kind of just like disappears afterward. But whatever, that's not here nor there. And then even in Thor Ragnarok, you saw some of the Hulk smash elements, but not as cool as when he like stops that Chitauri dragon serpent battle cruiser Naruto gunship thing that drops in all the troops. You haven't seen that since then, And I was really hoping to see that in this movie, but we didn't. But I loved Professor Hulk. I loved the selfie thing. That was hilarious. Thor has gotten fat, and that was cool, but one of my biggest problems was because after Thor Ragnarok, Thor became one of my favorite characters. As many of you know, or probably don't know, I like Marvel movies. I really do. I grew up on DC, and so I read more DC comics than I have Marvel comics. But so none of them, I liked the whole movies, but none of them were typically my favorite Avenger until Thor Ragnarok. I loved what they did with Thor in that movie. And again, maybe it's just because of the Led Zeppelin soundtrack, but I love Thor Ragnarok. And he became my favorite one. And they basically neutered him in this movie. And okay, I was like, that's cool. He's fat, sure, he let himself go. You know, it's been 5 years, he's depressed, he failed, he knows he failed, sure. And I get that. But I thought by the final battle, by the last hour of the movie, he would have trained or something, you know? So that kind of bothered me. That was one of my things that kind of bothered me in the movie, that they kept him fat the entire time. I thought he was going to go back to his prime, but sure. So we go on with the time heist. The only parts I found kind of boring were the Asgard parts of the time heist. I don't know why. That's when I chose to go to the restroom. The only thing I know I missed for sure was when Rocket took the ether from Padme. That's the only thing I actually missed from the movie. I ran to the bathroom and so yeah, that's the only thing I missed. I don't know. I thought it was kind of boring. I might be wrong. Maybe so that was some other people's favorite part. I did like the scene with his mom. I did catch the end of that. That was cool. That was cool. I like that. I'm trying to think what else after that. I did like when they failed to get the Tesseract because and Loki steals it, which again, okay, whatever. I like that they went back even further. They went back even further, and Tony got a scene with his dad, and Cap nearly interacted with Peggy, and that was cool, right? Damn, we have this place on lockdown. So I like that a lot. Again, there wasn't a really. I think that was one of my favorite parts was the time heist because I think I always liked that. Oh, there's a Pharaoh, right? No, I don't know. So, not too bad. And during that second hour, which is the whole time heist, I liked the that is America's ass. That shit was hilarious. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up from that time heist. Oh, the end, right? They do the whole switcheroo. Even my girlfriend was like so engaged when she saw that they switched when Nebula had the other Nebula's like headpiece and she was putting it on to blend in. My girlfriend's like, this bitch. Like realizing what they were in for, what was gonna happen. So that was my favorite part, and then you know the whole time travel scene with Ant-Man was cool. Before that, the whole time heist when they're testing it out, I thought that was pretty great. Then Hulk puts on the glove, the gauntlet, the Iron Man armor hand thing, and he snaps his fingers. Nearly like you just see it just char and fuck up his entire right hand. And everybody's back, and you're like, oh my god, right? Like, wow, like, you see birds start flying in and whatnot. And that's cool, and I was like, damn, right? But then there's that scene where Nebula sends Thanos I don't even know what his ship is called. I'm just gonna call it the Juggernaut from fucking Star Wars, because it's like the massive ship. It just comes out of the quantum time tunnel thing, and then bars the fuck out of the Avengers building, and I was like, holy shit. And I for sure thought somebody died there. I thought maybe... I knew Ant-Man didn't die from the trailer, but I thought maybe Hawkeye went out right there. No, not Hawkeye. I thought actually, who did I think died there? Definitely not Iron Man, not Captain America. I don't know. I forgot. Anyways. Oh, no, because we all see them in the trailer from the final scene. We see Rhodey, we see Raccoon, we see Rocket on Rhodey, we see Cap. I don't know, never mind. Doesn't matter. And I was like, holy shit. And then they're just bombing the shit out of the base, right? And then the big three come in and they start fucking battling it out with Thanos. And Thanos is still holding his own without the gauntlet. And it's holy shit. It really shows you how powerful he is. Because in Infinity War, we saw him go toe-to-toe with them. But he had some stones. He had either the Power Stone. Or the Space Stone, right? Or the Reality Stone. So, but then you see him like he's like so massively strong without the gauntlet. And he's fucking up Thor. And again, I guess they kept it that way so that Thor wouldn't just whoop his ass like he did at the end of Infinity War. But I thought for sure... Oh, everybody left. So I thought for sure... Where was I going with this? So I thought that, you know, you start seeing Mjolnir shake as Thor's like about to get his ass beat like into oblivion, and you're like, oh, okay. I was like, naturally it's gonna fly towards him, right? When it zoomed past him and Cap grabs it, I was like, holy shit, they did it! Oh my god! My girlfriend gave me a look like he's not supposed to. I'm like, he kind of is, but I'll explain later. She's like, she turned to me and was like, I thought Thor was the only one that's supposed to do it. And I'm like, he kind of is, but I'll explain later. When he grabs it and starts whooping Thanos' ass and using the power of Thor and casting lightning, it was fucking epic. And I'm like, there's no way they're gonna top this, right? There is no way they're gonna top this. And then Cap is getting his ass beat after that, which I thought that was kind of whack, but whatever. So Cap's getting his ass beat again. And then you hear the callback to the Winter Soldier on your left. And it's Falcon and the portal opens and everybody's coming out. Everybody. And I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do it. He's gonna say it as they're all lining up. And for those of you who grew up with Power Rangers, this was that Forever Red moment. This was that all the Power Rangers from the past season teaming up and going to battle to the big bad guy. That was this moment for the MCU, but instead of the past one season, it was the past 22, 21 movies of everything, everybody lining up. And then he says, Avengers Assemble, and I nearly fucking wet myself. I was like, this is amazing. Because, oh my god, it was just such a big payoff moment, and the ending, and the big battle, and everybody got a shot. I don't give a crap what these fucking male, I'm a male, but, you know, like, people that have their male ego bruised because they can't stand seeing women in power, and they're like, oh, that shot was totally forced when all the girls came together. No, the fuck it wasn't. They all got together. That's all it was. You're just seeing too much into it, and it shows more about the person pissed off about it than the actual shot. It was just all the chicks together. That's all it was. They weren't forcing anything. It was just all the chicks together, and that was it. And if it was being forced, I don't think it was forced. Sorry, I'm getting a little too much. I'm just gonna say this. Because that shot wasn't for us. I mean, maybe it was. Maybe those are some of your favorite characters. And Wanda's one of my favorite characters. And probably just because of the actress, but she's bae as fuck. But that shot was for people like my little sister, my little cousins that like the superhero movies. And like my little sister loves DC superhero show. Why? Because it shows her girls in power and stuff like that, and she can identify with the characters, and that's fucking cool. So anyway, sorry, I went a little too long on that. And then Wanda is whooping his ass, and I was talking to a buddy of mine named Arturo, Ice Dragon. He's sometimes in the live streams when we're playing League of Legends, right? He's sometimes there. I was talking to Arturo, and I was like, I like that she was like super strong, and I was like, technically she's a mutant in the comics at least, and yeah, mutants aren't a thing in the MCU, but no. But she's like an O level, and I looked it up just to make sure because I was pretty sure she was an Omega level mutant. And she is, and justifiably so. She's supposed to be super OP. And she was, and I love that because I love her character because she's just like a mage, a witch, obviously. She's fucking awesome, right? And I love that scene, and then Thanos had to go and be like, oh, bring down the Hellfire or whatever he called it. And I mean that scene was cool because you're like, fuck, they're in despair again, right? And then Captain Marvel comes in to save there. I think they used her perfectly because she is kind of like a cheat code button thing, because she's pretty strong. So I think they used her appropriately for the movie. And even then they showed she is strong because he headbutts her, but then he just like knocks her the fuck out, like, because he takes the Power Stone and he uses that. She's strong, but she ain't that strong. And I like that. I like that they showed that.
60 seconds.
Regardless of what they said, that studios and producers and things make inaccurate comments all the time, and that's just what it is. And when they're like, oh, she is the strongest Avenger, probably not, but they probably missaid that, and whatever, it doesn't matter. And I liked how that they showed that she was strong, but not that strong, because even Thanos with his Infinity Stone was able to, with the Power Stone in his hand, just like fucking punched her and sent her back, and I don't think we see her after that. But the end with when he gets the stones again, I'm like, oh hell no, right? I did not see the switcheroo where Tony gets the stones. And he steals them right before he's gonna snap, and he goes, I am Iron Man, and he fucking snaps his fingers and just like dissolves everybody else, and that was cool, right? That was great. I loved it. This is my only problem with the movie. One of my biggest problems with the movie. I love this movie. I really did. I went in super excited, and I came out even more excited, more satisfied than I thought I was gonna be. My only problem is Tony. I don't give a fuck how smart he is. Should not have been able to build with the technology we have on Earth. I don't give a fuck if it's adamantium or vibranium or whatever it's called. Even I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but with the metals and shit that we have on Earth, should have not been able to make something to wield all 6 Infinity Stones. It shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have worked. It really shouldn't. Why? Because they established that is like some special enchantment / crazy thing that Peter Dinklage's Tyrion Lannister forged on the planet of whatever with the dying star, and that's the only thing that should have worked. And it kind of pisses me off that he was able to do that, because it shouldn't have happened. And some people were like, oh, but nanotech, or oh, but he's super smart. Sure. Fine. But he's still just a human, so let's say he did manage to build something to handle it. It should have fucking killed him the moment he put it on. Because if Thor, and maybe like I might be looking too much into it, but no, this is what I thought about it. So sure, I'm gonna get to say what I thought about it. Because when Hulk put on the gauntlet, it took him a couple seconds, a good minute or 30 seconds to adjust to the power of the stones flowing through him, right? And that, when Tony just puts it on, didn't initially kill them, so sure. But either way, I can look past all of that. I just like bringing it up because I just do. Because it bothered me. But looking past that, it was still a great movie, and I loved it. The time travel stuff is a little murky because they break some of their own rules. They say that if you go in the past and change something, it will not affect your present. Thor says that. Hulk says, I keep getting them mixed up. Hulk says that at the beginning of the movie when they first bring up the idea to him, and that's fine. So where was I going with this? So then Cap shouldn't have been able to if Cap would have stayed, it wouldn't have changed anything, and he would have never shown up in their timeline, you know? Does that make sense? I totally fucked it up. Anyways. But yeah, those were some of my points. I'm gonna see if I can do like a more of a discussion video, like between me, my buddy Sergio, and Carl, because I know they've seen it, and maybe Arturo if he's online later tonight, because I am gonna go watch Game of Thrones after this, and then do a couple other stuff, and then I'll probably get on, and maybe I'll do like a discussion, and I will record it, and we'll talk about it. Maybe that would be fun. I'll bring it up to them, and maybe we can bring up some other points that we liked and disliked. But other than that's my thoughts on the movie. Again, I hope you guys like this video. I hope that I really gotta get a camera so I can do these reviews better, but hope you enjoyed the gameplay in the background. It's pretty shitty. I'm kind of just doing whatever. It is just Mystery Heroes after all. But I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any thoughts or disagree with me on some stuff, let's talk about it. I love talking about movies. So write down any questions or any plots that you guys think were that you guys interpreted differently than I did, and we should talk about it, and let's see where that goes, and write it down in the comment section and we can talk about it. I hope to have a discussion with you guys. It'll be fun. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys later with my Game of Thrones Season 3, Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, Battle of Winterfell review / spoiler discussions. Probably tomorrow. I'll do that and upload that tomorrow. So yeah, you guys have a nice day. Enjoy Game of Thrones later tonight, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.